Hello, 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 hello. Hey, thank you all for being here. Hello, 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 Anthony. Oops, I'm echoing. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Rose. Y'all, I'm so excited because, well, I'm sorry I'm late, but I just found out Sinead O'Connor passed away. She's the same age as me. Hey, Roy and Becky. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Kenneth. Good to see you. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Um, I I have my leftovers from yesterday and I made a salad. Yes, I did. So I shouldn't not have been late today because I didn't have to, I had to make salad, that's all. But, um, so yeah, I'm really thankful. Thank you for being here. I rarely have people waiting on me. So I was excited when it said like three were waiting on me. And, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Um, so yeah, like I said, I I often talk about depression, mental health issues on my channel. And Sinead O'Connor passed away. She was an Irish singer who always struggled with mental health. I don't see where it's saying yet what happened. Hey, Tim's here too. Hello, 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 hello. Anyways, we'll keep her friends and family in our prayers. I don't know what the thank you, Kenneth. Yeah, no, it's a no mascara day. I'm still leery about the mascara because of the problems I had with my eye when I was in London. So yesterday I tried it, but it was fine, and it was fine. But I'm just not sure I'm gonna continue um, doing the mascara. But like my eyelashes are like invisible without anything on them. That's the thing, redheaded problems. But yeah, but oh, Sinead O'Connor's son passed also. Yeah, that's what I felt like happened with Lisa Marie. She just didn't want to go on. I feel like my mom would have lived longer also had she had lost three sons and it just tore her up. It just tore her up. And my mom just wanted to go be with them, I feel like. So I didn't read that about um yeah, that often happens. My my husband's grandparents passed the same year. And then that thing with I thought it was noteworthy, the thing with Carrie, uh the one that played Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, and then her mom. She was just so sad, and she's just like, I'm ready to go. So, oh, Sinead O'Connor. Okay, I'm like, I'm interested in so many. It's like with the YouTube channels I'm interested in. I'm interested in so many YouTube channels, so many my friends' YouTube channels, and all these other YouTube channels, and these people on Instagram I follow, and it's just too much, and I don't really even attempt. I could. I could try harder, but I'd probably fail to keep up with everything, to keep it. It's so hard to keep up with everything. Yeah, she was very, very talented, but she was also very open about her struggles with mental illness. And I wanted to mention that. And I just saw it on my phone right before I went live. So I was just like, wait, let me see what it says. Doesn't say anything yet, but I'm going to light the candle for you, flames. Welcome, flames. Welcome to Reds. If you're new here, my followers are called flames. So that's why I light the candle. Plus I'm a pyromaniac. No, I'm not. Fire. This girl is on fire. Yeah, so I'm gonna pray for her and her family. I believe she's good now. I don't believe we need to pray for the people who have passed, but I believe in praying for the people who are left here. Thank you, Rose. Oh, I didn't share out my live. Let me do that. Oh, wait, did I see? Carol, hey. Hello, plain vanilla grandma. Good to see you. Good. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, go check out her channel. I should just make you mod. I'll just make everybody mod. Yes, you can be a mod. And then just the other moderators can just click on those little dots and it will go right to your channel. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I just did it. See if you're blue now. When you say something, Carol. Say something. See if you're. Wait, did I do it? Oh, wait, I didn't. Okay, I didn't save it. Wait, there we go. There you go. If you don't want to be, just let me know. I can I made Box Indy a moderator, and she's like, I don't want to be a moderator. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, you are. Yeah, let me pray. I decided I'm like, okay, I can blow bubbles today because I covered my face. I would blow bubbles and then just get bubbles all over. I'm going to pray, but here, let me blow some bubbles for you. I am dripping on my dress and I'm getting bubbles on my food, but it's covered, so it's good. Let's pray. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. You are very welcome. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for all my YouTube followers and for all the people here at my live. Pray you bless them, Lord. We think of Sunid's family, Lord. I don't know if I'm even saying her name right, Lord. Is it Shanae? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Lord. But I just pray you comfort her family and friends and Um, and I pray that she would rest in peace, Lord. And I thank you for this food, Lord. I thank you for my family. I thank you for my friends. I thank you for my kids. I pray you continue to bless them and watch over them and keep them well. I pray you continue to heal my friends who are ill. I pray you continue to heal Lori, and I pray you continue to heal Rose and be with Rose and um, guide her in her next steps in her life journey, Lord. And I pray you be with Roy and Becky, Lord, and help Becky getting the things sorted out. She needs to sort out so she can get back to Arizona and to Roy. And I just thank you that I was able to go to Europe, Lord. And I thank you for my friend Valentina and what a blessing she was to me and helping me out of the situation in Portugal, and that I got to go to Italy and I got to go to England, Lord. I'm just so grateful and blessed. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, yeah, her music is so amazing. Yeah, this is my he this right here. He's been my mod like forever. And he's the only one so I really appreciate you, Anthony. Um, he's been my mod for the longest, and a lot of things that um, happened with um, that I talk about that happened with the bully and all that. A lot of moderators, um, you know, some of them tried to be neutral, but to me, if I felt like they sided with the bully, I couldn't keep them on as a moderator. So, but I really appreciate Anthony. So I just want to say that. Let me play you a little ditty on my flute before I eat. I got my Wolfie here. Wolfie scared my grandbaby, so she didn't want to keep him. Hi, I'm Wolfie. Welcome to Rats. I think my chicken's cold now. Let me see. These vegetables got so done, and I didn't even turn them over. See, this is a blackened tomato, but they're good. I didn't even turn them over. They got too done on one side. I got everything on my salad. Since I got the peppers I have peppers in my salad. I had the peppers for the shish kebab. So, um, avocado, sunflower seeds, lettuce. I have um, artichoke hearts, tomato, cucumber, everything on my salad. Macaroni salad and crackers. Too hot out for a hot lunch here. How hot is it there? It's not getting too high today. I think 90. Thank you, Carol. Hey, Wanderlust. Hello. How are you? You chimed in towards the end of that conversation, but heard the support of Bully not keeping on moderator. That was wise, Red. You would be condoning had you not. I made you live with lunch. Yes, you did. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I was just seeing what is the temperature here in Denver. It's 90, but a low of 63. Like by sunset, it's going to be 75 degrees. That's what I like. At least it cools off here, 110 degrees. That's crazy. That's crazy. I often been telling the story lately of I was going to go down to Quartzsite, but it was 119. And other things kept going wrong. I have AC in my RV. If I'm, plugged in. So I was still going to go, but things kept going wrong. My niece left Flagstaff, so I wasn't going to be able to see her. And then I was thinking that my gas was leaking, but it was my black tank smelling because I had stopped being so, I was so OCD and over conscientious that I ended up with bubbles coming out of the top of my RV, throwing down all the, hey, Ovan Gal, hello. Thank you for being here. So I had stopped being so conscientious, and it was my black tank that was smelling when I drove and not my gas leaking. And a RV tech did tell me that. And I was just like, no, I don't think so. Oh, you're having roast? Roast what? Roast beef bagel with metre. Oh, that sounds good. You want to come up and eat with me? You want to come up on a panel? Yeah, some of these vegetables are a bit too overdone. $12.8. Okay. Let me see if I can find that song. No one wants to see me. Oh, you're installing your Flex solar panel today. Cool. So what are the Flex solar panels? What do they do? My hair just kicked on. I have it set like real high too. Like 78. I think I save electricity in the summer because I'm kind of used to heat because I'm from Southern California and South Florida. Amarillo, it's 98. Wow. Oh, you had chicken and broccoli for lunch at Cracker Barrel, right? That sounds good too. Flex panels are bendable. Okay, that's good. Oh, Tim is so helpful. Um, yeah. After my first meetup, unofficial meetup in the Alabama Hills with those two YouTubers I don't hang with anymore, I I hit a big, huge rock. It must have been huge because my step wouldn't come out. It wasn't an automatic step. It was the kind you pull out. It wasn't the button push one. It was uh, what do you call it? I don't know, but it was one you just pull out yourself. But it was so bent. It was my step wouldn't come out. And do these two guys I met in Alabama Hills help me out? No. But when I went to Oregon, and it was funny too, because when I was in Southern California, when I first arrived in Southern California, it was the last month of my sister-in-law's life, December to January, 2020 to 2021. And I was in the SoCal area, and I had met, I think, Moorbang at Van Vita's or somewhere, or someone's. I don't know. I think I met him at Van Vita's, but I'm not even really sure. But I didn't meet him when I was in SoCal, and he's in SoCal. But I met him up at the 021 meetup in Aussie Falls in May 2021, and he fixed he's like, "Do you have a hammer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a hammer." And he fixed my step. He took a hammer to it. And so, yeah, Tim is very handy. Oh, you have to have an ultrasound. Oh, wow. Paying for you. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I fell and broke my kneecap on the day I got my. I was just too excited, y'all. First, I fell in St. Louis and cracked my ribs. That was the worst. I fell right on my face. There were these kids walking the other way. They couldn't help but laugh. But then I think they felt bad because they're like, "Are you okay?" Because I was uneven pavement. It was the same thing at Gladys's house when I fell and broke my kneecap. But the cracked rib hurt way worse than the knee, and I was so thankful because when I broke my kneecap, I was like, shoot, because I was like rushing and pressuring myself, like, I got to get out of here, I got to get out of here, I got to leave my RV, and I don't know what my rush was. I know why. I look back at it now. Joyce Meyer also always says, we don't understand. We live life forward, but we understand it backward. And I don't know what my rush was. I didn't need to rush. He was like, I don't have a job. I paid off all my debt. I paid off all my debt, paid off my car, and then sold my car, paid cash for my RV, this from selling my house. And it was just like, I was just excited and I was just ready to take off, and that's why I got so excited when I got my RV registered and I went and got all these groceries because I would cook for Gladys like I cook for my sons and like I cook for everybody. Like I would cook for my Airbnb guests. I would cook for my kids and my husband. So, All right. We'll see you later, Carol. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Um, so yeah, I got all these groceries. I think I got some wine. It's like I go back and forth. I don't drink hardly at all, but sometimes I drink a little bit. So I think I got wine. I had milk. I had, I almost busted I had groceries in my hands. It was dark. Gladys was about to go drive for Lyft and in St. Louis, and she was taking a nap. And so the front light, I was like, the light's going to go on because the automatic light's going to go on, right? But before the light went on, boom, I hit the ground again and I broke my kneecap. Hi, Diane. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. How have you been? Long time no see. But I was amazed at the only reason I knew my kneecap was broken is because it swelled up. It did not hurt at all, like the cracked ribs hurt every time I moved, all the time. And I didn't go to the doctor for that, but I went into the med stop and got my kneecap x-rayed, and it was indeed broken. Which I thought. It looks like a kangaroo. It's a bunny. It's the bunny it's the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, Tim. I love that story, and we dressed up as Alice in Wonderland. I think it was in 2010 when the movie came out with Johnny Depp. My daughter was Alice, and her friend was the White Queen. I was the Red Queen. And that was right after I lost weight, and I fit into my daughter's prom. My daughter's prom dress was red, and I fit into my oldest daughter's prom dress, which was still in the closet. So I was a Red Queen. Brooke was the White Queen. Her mom found a little. They were about 10. They were so adorable. I should share the picture online. I'll share the picture, but we didn't get a picture of us all together, which was so stupid because my ex was the Mad Hatter. He didn't look nearly as good as Johnny Depp. His just facial features are just way different than Johnny Depp's. So he didn't look like him at all. But he made the hat and everything. And I used to have the hat in my library, but I think I gave it back. I think I left that in the story vault. I think I did. I don't know. Or I gave it to Goodwill or something. But Jackalope. No, it's white. He has, the reason I knew is because he has a little watch. I'll go over there so you can see it. Oh, I'm not plugged in. Oh my goodness. I need to go over here because I need to plug in. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there he is. See his watch. Yeah, I didn't plug in. That's crazy. I'm glad you said that, Tim, because it made me realize that I'm not plugged in. And I don't want to go off. Silly me. Because I usually sit over there in my chair. Except for when I go live, I come over here and I usually move the cord. But I forgot. So, and then the next year after that, I think it was 2011, we were the Wizard of Oz for Halloween, and it was really fun. And I was always has to do with hearts. There's my broken heart tattoo. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. It's got the light shining through it, but always to do with hearts. So I was the Queen of Hearts, and then I was the Tin Man. And then Brooke, Brooke's like, well, Liddy got to be the main character last year, so I get to be the main character this year. So Brooke got to be Dorothy, and she's a brunette, so she was adorable. Dorothy so they were about 11 then. As my daughter was an adorable Alice. I'll post a picture on my community tab. They were so cute. But the picture is of Lydia and Brooke. But yeah, I can post a picture of me too. But there's a picture of me by myself as the Red Queen. But we should have got a picture of all of us together, and we didn't. We were working at the fall festival at our church. Yeah, yeah, I love Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan. I wanted to go to Kensington Gardens. We went. The tour bus went by it, but it was getting late in the evening. It was getting like 5, 6, and I wanted to head back because my hotel was in Windsor, so it was like 45 minutes away. And so I didn't stop at Kensington Gardens, but I wanted to go see that, the Peter Pan statue. And I know the other, the Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll is from the UK. Also, I think he's from London also, I think. So here's my salad. Yeah, and I'll share that poem today. The poem that's about all the stories of reading to my kids, and then just the heartbreak of being alienated from them was just so hard. It's still hard. But it's only 2 of them now, not 3. Cloud alert. Oh, yeah. It's in the movie Hook. And I'm like, oh, where is that? I want to see that, Next time I go, I probably will see it. But I did make it to Abbey Road. We all live in a yellow submarine. So that was my main. When I went back into London on Saturday, when I decided to go back into London, that was my priority. I'm going to Abbey Road Studios first. So that's what I did. And then Big Ben. And then I took the tour that went all around. And we also went back past the place where the memorial for Diana is. It's near Kensington Gardens, I think. It's near that, not near that, in that general area, I guess. But I didn't see it. 12.4 is what? I'm watching. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, I think I still didn't share out my live. Did I share out my live? I meant to. I meant to, but I might have gotten distracted. Let me look at my community tab and see if I shared out the live. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I shared another cat video. My bad. Watching cat videos is how I keep from getting my own cat. I just will watch the videos. I'm live. Hello. Sharing it out. Okay. Oh, is Diana here? Oh, Diane. Yeah. I have two friends named Diana, and then there's Diane. So I was like, is Diana here? Which Diane is it? Diane's here. Thank you for being here, Diane. Really appreciate it. Love that. Love the Phoenix. Love the just the story. I love Phoenixes. Yeah, Phoenixes are cool. It's Jonathan here. Yeah. They'll think Carol is Gloria because the name of her channel is Glorious Life on Wheels, right? And she's like, I'll answer to anything, just don't call me late to dinner. So yeah, I'm like that too. And I always joke, and sing the Whitney Houston, my name is not Susan, but it is. So you can call me Susan, you can call me Red. People call me redheaded, and it's because that's the first part of my name, but like I don't know why they don't just shorten it to Red. I'm trying not to let it bother me though. But sometimes people call me redheaded when I go into chats and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. If you're gonna shorten it to Red. I mean, even the people whose chat I'm in are saying, "Hey, Red," and I'll say hi to them, and they'll say, "Hey, redheaded." I'm like, okay, whatever. Redheads, male or female, traditionally get called red. So it's a thing. Maybe people who aren't familiar with that, but anyways. I had this. I made a funny video. I need to think up some more Southern Red and Cali Red videos, but I made a Southern Red video because Cali Red, because I'm both really actually. I'm bipolar, y'all. So I'm like Southern Red, sweet. I was in Georgia for 32 years, y'all. So I'm both, but Cali Red got on. Yeah, I'll blame this on Cali Red. Cali Red got on online dating one last time. I think it'll be the last time I ever get on online dating. Met this gym rat guy in LA who called me Scarlet. Oh, I call all redheads Scarlet. Not this redhead, mister. Delete, block. I'm sorry. And Southern Red goes, well, I don't know why Cali Red got all upset about being called Scarlet. Being called Scarlet's a compliment. No, it's not, Southern Red. The Ostrich Inn. No, I was only in London 2 days, Kenneth. It wasn't planned. I was only in London 2 days. Things went wrong with the company I went with called Remote Year. I don't recommend them, obviously, but they have different people in every different place they go to. So maybe if you went to a different location, the people would do a better job of doing their job. Because my friend in Turin, Italy, Valentina, did a better job at doing the people of remote year's job, and I paid remote year to do their job. And they were horrible at it. So hi, almost anything. Thanks. My parents and my ex called me Sue. But my given name is Susan. This is a good salad, if I do say so myself. And I have the Good Seasons Italian dressing. I stayed at the Castle Inn in Windsor, and it was wonderful. And I stayed there because it was near Heathrow. I flew into Gatwick from Turin, and Gatwick's way, way on the other side. And I was so far, far away from my hotel. Yeah, I know. You have a redheaded aunt that's named Susan. So I was at I flew into Gatwick from Turin, and on Ryanair, this bizarre airline, I hear they're Irish. They didn't have any ice. They gave me a hot Diet Coke. And then they were selling booze, big full bottles of booze and cigarettes. I kid you not, on the plane. I was like, what the heck? You can't smoke a cigarette on here. I guess, for when you get off and go. In Munich, in the airport, there was this whole big, it was about the size of this room. I think maybe it was a little bit bigger. It was about the size of this room. Smoking lounge thing that you go in, close the door, and you can smoke. I was like, don't want to go in there. So I thankfully we looked at some later flights because Valentina helped me like with everything, and then she got my ticket to I'm wondering if I should message her. You've been, that's a long time, yeah. Well, my move was long in the planning. And I at first tried to move to Nashville, and that didn't work out. It was before I was divorced, so it wouldn't have worked. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you the story of my lawyer today. I need to get started on that story because it's a long story. But yeah, I went across London. I had to take a bus. I took a bus to Liverpool, and I was thinking like, maybe I should see some of these things while I'm here. And, and I was carrying around, I thankfully got a little rolly suitcase in Turin. No, I got it in Florence, actually, when Valentina and I went to Florence on the train, which was wonderful, Florence was kind of instead of going to Paris. I didn't end up going to Paris. So I took a bus to Liverpool, and then I went to the underground, but I was just like, I was kind of not wanting to go to the underground, but I went to the underground, and it was complicated, the underground, to take it all the way to Windsor. I was going to have to change trains a couple times. And I did change trains once. So I took the underground, but I hated that because I'm like, I'm not seeing any of London and I'm only here 2 days. And so I took the underground, and then I took a train, the Elizabethan line, to, let's see, I took the underground to Paddington, and they have these little Paddington bear statues. There's a picture on my, let me put a link to my IG. Let me put a link to my IG. I want to at least start this story of my lawyer. But I hope like I'll illustrate to you guys, like, I struggle with worry. And when I look back and look at things and how, yeah, things went wrong, but then God works it all out, and it should help me to not worry. It's good for me to remember. Oh, you're in the Midwest somewhere too. So are you in Missouri? Yeah, everybody's situation is so different though, Rose, and the way your situation is I just feel like you're never going to recoup. It's expensive, and it's hard work to live on the road. I mean, not expensive. It can be. I stayed at RV park, so it didn't save me as much as I could have saved if I boondocked more. I boondocked some though. But I think I'm going to finish my salad later so I can talk to y'all. But so what I was saying, Rose, is your situation is way, way different than mine was. And I feel like you're never going to recoup the money from your family if you just leave there. And that's a lot of money. So, well, I don't know. Maybe you'll get paid back. So, yeah. See, I was gonna move, Diane. I was gonna move to California. I wanted to move to the San Diego area, and it's so expensive, and also, I really felt like I was so much closer to my sister-in-law than to my own brother. And when she passed, I don't feel like my brother really wanted me near him. I was going to be near my brother. And so I moved here. I came here to Denver. And then like a year ago, and thankfully it would have been such a delay, because in June or July, I was thinking of buying a place here, and I was looking at places here, and then I just felt like I was too rushed and I wasn't ready yet. So now, after being here a year, I feel like I will buy something here, because I feel like I like it well enough, and I found a church and all of that. So, like, when I wanted to move, because sometimes I tend to run away from things. And so that's why, like, when the stuff happened in Lisbon with this company, I was like, and then I went to Turin. I felt like, am I running away again? Am I running away again? And then your eldest nephew is in Denver. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it here. Colorado is it's almost just as expensive here as San Diego, though. Only find it, the rents are so high. It really is. And my friend, so my friend in California, she's in, Northern California, but still, she's renting a whole house for what I'm paying for this apartment here. So it's comparably expensive as California. So that's why you know, I love it, but like I don't know, like my older son is trying to decide what he's doing and where he's going and stuff. But I didn't really think this was a good area for him, right now. Maybe later if he got established in some sort of uh, job or something. But if you're strapped, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, rent is usually more than a mortgage. No, but she's renting. My friend in California is renting a house for the same price as this 1 bedroom apartment. So a whole house, like 4 bedrooms, 2 stories. So yeah, but I'm in a more expensive part of Denver. And so I want to try and find maybe a tiny house, a condominium, a small house, maybe. And I signed up to, I was going to go camp in this little teardrop trailer that's so adorable. Maybe I can show it to you. But I don't have the right connections for my head. I don't have a ball and the 7. I need to get more parts for my hitch before I can rent this trailer. Let me see if I can show it to you. Where is my RV share thing? But that's just for when I travel. I'm not going to live in it full time. And it's 1,000 pounds, so it's under my limit, which is good. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let me go into my email. Let's see. I have too many emails. Oh. Okay, let me see if I can. What did this go to this for? So annoying. It went to the. Okay, let me see if I can show you this. Why is it not going to the? I don't know if she. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Ah, look at that. Can you see that? It's perfect. Isn't that cool? Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true too. Depends on your needs and what deal breakers and interests. Yeah, that's why I didn't know him. That's why I was like, oh wait, it's too soon really for me. Um, but see, the thing is, I feel like because of that, and because of all the money you put into that, that's where your investment is, Rose. That's what I feel like that's where your investment is. Uh, I, I, I don't see how, um, I just feel like you've invested there. You've paid all of that already. Um, unless you're just expecting not to get that recouped. I don't know, but it's I'm still praying for you, and um, I, you know, want to work out for you. But I know I jumped the gun, and I was too quick to want to just leave the situation in Georgia. And in 2015, I tried to move to Nashville, Tennessee, and it just all wasn't working out. And I was like, okay, it's not God's timing. Things have to be in God's timing, you know? Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to pull something either. That's why I'm trying this out, because I'm thinking of buying one, but I'm not sure. And now I have to I'm like, I already paid $1,000 for this trailer hitch on my RAV. And I don't even have the thing to plug in, all the lights and all that, and the ball thing. And it's not expensive. I'm like, well, after I already spent $1,000, I might as well get those two pieces too and try this out. And yeah. So, but so today I was going to tell the story about um, my lawyer, and yeah, and that whole situation. See, I could have never navigated all the things I needed to get through with my divorce and all that from Tennessee, like from Nashville. How was I going to do that? You know, so my divorce wasn't even through with yet. And I think it was 2015 when I hired this lawyer. Her name is Daniel Daylor Hines in Warner Robins, Georgia. I wanted to look to see if she was still in business. But I never met her for many, many months. Um, and I spoke with her husband. Um, I can't find it. I'm not spelling her name right. Yeah. Yeah, I believe she's still in business. Um, uh, it just was a nightmare with this woman. So, at first I thought it was okay, and I'm talking to her husband, and her husband is advising me. He's like her secretary. Wasn't meeting her. And then first I applied for separate maintenance because that way I could keep. I was terrified, you guys. I had never lived alone. That's why it was so hard when I moved out of my ex's house, and then my kids. I I really wanted my youngest to come with me, but I knew she wouldn't because she was closer to her high school. She had just started high school. She was closer to her high school. At my husband's place still wasn't that close because the high school was on the outskirts of the county, only one very small county, very and the high school was way far away from where we lived in Byron. It wasn't in the middle of the county. But still, my house was even farther away. The smaller house was in Warner Robins. And so that's why I was so lonely and just left alone in my little house in Georgia when I moved out of my ex's house in 2016. But in 2015, I went and filed for separate maintenance, and with this lawyer that was a nightmare that I didn't read her reviews. Always read reviews, you guys. Always read reviews, especially if it's something like that you're paying a lot of money to. I paid them $2,500, and then they kept saying it's more because you're doing the 401k. Oh, it's more because it's contested. And the only reason, like, they didn't realize this, the only reason he was going to contest it was because of alimony. They ended up filing the paperwork without my knowledge, and I signed the paper, and I don't know legal jargon and all of this, and I didn't realize it didn't have alimony even in the paperwork, and that was the only thing he was contesting. So it was just ridiculous. And then they had me wait and wait and wait, and I was scared and I was terrified too. And then so I finally go in to this office, and I think this was, I'm trying to think when it was actually. It was like 8 months. I think it was I think it was 2016 when I finally met her. It was like 8 months after I hired her. I go in there, and all this time I was talking to lead up to this story. I was talking yesterday about me trying to get a job and how, it was harder than I thought it was. And, I wanted to substitute teach, and then I decided against that. And then I was trying to get a waitressing job. I applied where I gave blood plasma too. And I got an interview also. I got an interview at Hobby Lobby, and they gave me a test and everything. And I thought I had that job, and it was for the holidays. I thought I had that job in the bag, and they didn't hire me. And then they said, we found someone with more experience. And it just was so discouraging. And I kept on looking for a job even after I started doing Airbnb, but Airbnb seemed to be what the job was that God had for me, But anyway, so on with the lawyer. I started doing Airbnb in 2017, but so I believe it was 2016. So I finally meet this lawyer, and meanwhile, my husband is just so condescending and is like she won't get a job, and like, you guys, I just wanted to get a job to get him off my back. I hate, I learned through so many things. I hate the accusations that, you're wrong, you're bad, I hate that. I mean, I'm getting over it now. I am so much thicker skinned. You guys, when I was first separated from my husband, I was just so naive. So naive. I had only been with my husband for When we separated, it was 27 years we had been together. The divorce took 4.5 years. And so I was just very, very naive. So I hired this lawyer, and I went in and finally met her. And you guys, she started getting on to me too. Well, aren't you? And I didn't know why, because I didn't realize at that point that she hadn't put alimony in the paperwork, right? I didn't know why she was getting on me. She was, well, you look like you could work. And then I just couldn't believe it. I was just flabbergasted at her pompousness. She was like, well, when I got into law school, I kept, have you gone back and checked with these places? I was very persistent when I got into law school. I had a 4.0, and, she's all talking about herself. And I was just like, the woman, like, I actually cried later. I was just like, I can't believe this. This woman is pulling on me. The same thing my ex is like, you're lazy, you won't get a job, and blah, 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 blah. And what the heck? And this was the reason why I fired her, actually. But then I found out later that alimony was not, for a 30-year marriage, alimony was not even in the paperwork. A 30-year marriage where he made me, basically I was his slave. Okay, I had 5 kids, and even I homeschooled, and I should not have homeschooled. My mom tried to warn me about that, but I homeschooled. It was okay, but I homeschooled for 9 years. But he wanted me to stay home with the kids. Yeah, just condemnation. It's just like never good enough, Wanderlust, like. Nothing I ever did was good enough. And you guys, I've said this before. I don't know if you guys heard me, but I've said this before on this channel. The reason why I cook so good is because my ex was so particular, and he would always be like, well, you could do it this. I mean, and he told me how to, I heard the singer talking, not Nicole Nordeman, Natalie Grant, saying she was with a man who was like, you're almost pretty. He would tell me what to wear and what not to wear, how to wear my hair, blah, 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 how to cook this, how to cook that, how to do this better, that, the house was nothing was ever good. Nothing was ever good enough, He'd compliment me sometimes, and I would eat it up, because I hardly ever would get that, if I'd lose weight or cook something like he liked it, and it's just like, that's the reason why I cook so good, is because and he would be like, oh, if you made the chicken pot pie without a crust on the bottom, it'll be less carbs. Oh, maybe I had trouble with the chicken cordon bleu to get it, in the chicken, I was trying to put it in. And he was like, why don't you roll it up? He's like, I worked for a restaurant, and he was just, that's why I'm such a good cook, and I put jalapeno, chicken salad with jalapeno in it is so good. And I put the jalapeno in it because he liked jalapeno. So good. You put onion, you put green apple because it's tart, jalapeno. But yeah, that's why I'm such a good cook. Because he was so picky. So yeah. So I went home and I cried after I met this lawyer. And I was like, and I'm sure I prayed about it at that point. I was still with God. This was before the date rape and before the green card guy. I mean, those things did me in. The date rape was in August 2017, and then the thing with Muhammad was 2018, and the date rape was right before I started doing Airbnb too, which was difficult letting all these, and several times I thought about not renting out my place to single men. But some of them were really nice and polite and respectful, but some of them weren't. um, so yeah, I made the difficult decision after I went home and cried. I'm like, she's getting on to me too. I even told my ex, I'm like, oh, you're going to love this. My lawyer doesn't understand why I don't have a job, and started, getting on to me, and blah, blah, blah. And so I went in the next day and I fired her. So they're almost $3,000 down the drain. And I set out on a mission, you guys. I was looking at reviews. I was also still looking for a woman lawyer. I was even paying the $200, $250, maybe $300 to meet with them so I could, just see what they were all about, right? And so I set out on a mission to find a good lawyer. And meanwhile, it's delayed and delayed and delayed. There's a continuance, and, it was she already filed the papers in the county, but she was just sitting on it. And then she was mad because I changed it in 2016 after I talked to my ex and said, would he want to work it out? And he was like, if you get a job. and I was just like, and then I found condoms in his car. He's had a vasectomy too, so condoms purely to prevent disease. And by accident, I was looking for his VIN to get him a new airbag. Actually, my sons had took my airbags, and my Sequoia had been recalled, and my son's dad took it in to get that. And then he was in a different vehicle, and he took my oldest two to Boca Raton for a soccer game for my oldest birthday. And my son said, well, look in Dad's car and find the VIN and see about getting his airbags replaced, because they were recalled also. And that's how I accidentally found the condoms. So then it was over. So I went in there and I had changed it to a divorce instead of separate maintenance. But I doubt that she even changed that. I don't know if she did. But she complained about that later. She changed it because she would answer back to my reviews. It's ridiculous. Who does that? Who answers back to their reviews? But anyways, she would always want to answer back to her reviews and defend herself. And I heard, as I was meeting other lawyers, I was hearing about her and how awful she was. As I read her reviews, I saw that she had screwed over other people, and it was just awful. So I fired her. I set out to find a new lawyer, and the thing is going on for continuance, because it's in the courts, and it's not, nothing's happening. It's not going anywhere. So one day I'm at the courthouse and I see this smart young lady. You shouldn't judge someone just by how they look, but she seemed to have her stuff together, right? So smart young woman, and about my daughter's age, and I asked for her card. And she was in Atlanta, but she was there in Peach County. She did cases in the county where my divorce was, and I was there for a continuance. And my husband, he hates lawyers. He didn't want to get a lawyer. And when I found out she didn't even put alimony in the thing, that was the only thing he was contesting, and she charged me more. She's like, it's more because it's contested. It was only contested because alimony was supposed to be in the paperwork, and it's not in the paperwork. So why'd you charge me more for that? It was just such a mess. So I went to see several lawyers and even paid, to meet them. What do they call it? Some of them have free consultation. Like, that's not the good ones, because the one, the first one I hired, Daniel Hines, her last name is Hines. I'll just say Hines. Not the ketchup. She didn't have that. She had a free consultation, but it was with her husband. And so I went to this big to-do woman lawyer in Macon. It turned out my thyroid doctor said, "Oh, I paid her a lot of money for my divorce." So I go to see this lawyer, and she's like, "It's illegal what she's doing because her husband is practicing law and he's not a lawyer." And I was like, "Really?" And then another lawyer I met told me to report her to the bar association, and I did. So anyways, I go see this lawyer, and like, mind you, I paid like almost $3,000 to this other lawyer, to this lawyer that I fired, and I wasn't seeing any of that. I tried for a minute to get some money back, but she wasn't going to give it back to me. So, all right, see you later. But there's a funny end to this story, so if you can stick around because I'm almost done. So I have 8 watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. This has a funny ending, so if you have to go, come back and watch the replay for the ending. It's hilarious, and I just feel like it's God works things out for me. So at this point, I'm still praying. I'm like, when I got with my husband, you guys, at 17, and we got married, and I was 19. He was the only one I had ever been with. I'm Christian. I'm Miss Goody Two Shoes. I'm, he's out there with his condoms looking for somebody, and I was just trying to find a decent lawyer, and then terrified to death because I've never, I went right from my parents to my ex. That's it. Out of the frying pan into the fire, which I say sometimes, because I realized, later on, like probably 2015, 2016, that my ex is a covert narcissist, and my dad was a covert narcissist. So, and that's why they were so similar. So critical, and nothing you do is good enough. And they both were engineers. My dad my ex is. My dad passed away at 92 in September 2020, right before I left Georgia. So may he rest in peace. And I feel like that's healed in heaven too. I hope so. I don't know for sure, but I feel like that narcissism will be, because that was caused by childhood trauma. I mean, he was adopted. He was, abandoned as a baby. He was adopted. His dad was alcoholic. His dad died when he was very young. But he had a wife and a family. But anyways, I like to think that that's healed too now, but I don't know. We will see. We'll see. One day we'll know. Now we just look through a mirror dimly, as Apostle Paul said. But so anyways, I hadn't been with anybody else, and I wasn't dating or anything like that. I was just trying to figure things out, and I was really scared. And you guys, if I knew all the things that were going to happen, I'm glad I did not know all the things that were going to happen with, like, I don't know, me not being able to get a job. I just naively thought, oh, I'm a hard worker. I can get a job. It's not going to be a problem. But no, people want it. They want experience. They want someone who's worked somewhere before. And I think a lot of times too, they'd look at me and be like, "Oh, she doesn't need a job. You know, let me give it to somebody else who needs it more than her. She doesn't need a job." And so yeah, I didn't know that my oldest two children were going to get so angry with me about it. You know, there was just a lot of things I didn't know that I'm glad I didn't know, because I would have never, I was terrified as it was, but I didn't know all the things that were going to go wrong, thankfully. So, so, so I fired that lawyer and I'm looking for a new lawyer, and I go to pay the 200, I think it was like 200, maybe $300, $250 maybe, this highfalutin lawyer in Macon. She's really good, knows her stuff. And she's the one that said, you know, what she's doing is illegal. She shouldn't have her husband practicing law. And then she says, since she made such a big mess of this, it will be $7,000. I was like, okay, thank you, bye. And at this point too, I was doing things with a credit card, so I would have finances, right? And I opened credit cards that were just in my name that I was paying on, and I opened a PayPal credit card, and that's how I paid the new lawyer I found. So when I was in the courthouse and met this young, sharp young woman, Bullard, her name is Bullard, and she's in, I think it's Bullard and McGuire in Atlanta, Georgia. Good lawyers. So I finally got her card from her, called her, set up a consultation over the phone, talked to her. She said, guess what? Be $2,500, like the first one was. And she had to refile the paperwork and all of that. And then you get another lawyer to set up a mediation, which happened not until 2018. I think when I hired her was about the end of, I'm trying to think, 2017 was around the time I fired my lawyer. So I had her almost 2 years, I think. Maybe it was early 2017 though. But 2016, I had moved out of the house. And I was alone. And then I was alone. That's why it was just so devastating when she said that, you know, why can't you find a job, and getting on my case and all this. Well, you look like you could work. Oh, well, when I got into law school, I was persistent. You have to go back there and you know, you have to be more, she was just getting on my case. And then I realized later, I was like, she was doing that because to cover her own butt, because she didn't even put in my paperwork for me to get alimony, you know? And I think you know, her husband looked at me and was like, you're so young. You know, I think they were just expecting me to just find another man, you know? Oh, she's gonna find another man. Don't worry about it. She don't need no alimony. Maybe I don't want to find another man. It wasn't until I got so lonely and then, you know, got on the, I'm really against dating apps, but I know they have, and they can work for some people, but I don't really think they're for me. But, and that's where I met the date rapist. And then, so I started doing Airbnb in 2017. And this is the hilarious part, you guys. And I don't know when I first noticed this, but so I did Airbnb for 2 years and it started to be really doing well. And so So totally done. Yeah. Well, I've been known to throw the baby out with the bathwater, Diane. So I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to say like, oh, and I already didn't trust a lot of men. That's why, like, my doctors have always been women. My therapists, and my lawyers, and this woman, I picked this woman, and she turns out she's a narcissist too, and she's horrible. And she had these bad reviews, and so then we got into this whole thing on, like, I was just trying to go to her Facebook, but she blocked me on Facebook. I also blocked her on Facebook, but she was just a nightmare. A nightmare, this woman. I reported her to the Better Business. Both these, oh goodness. She had a Better Business Bureau sticker. And I was just like, what's up with that? So did this other company that was bad. I can't remember which one. Oh, Page Publishing. Yeah, I don't trust anybody that says it. Anyone that says they're with a Better Business Bureau approved, because this ex-lawyer got a Better Business Bureau approved. I think it was because I needed to change I think I gave her a report and not a review, or I forget what it was, but something technical, because I did report her to the Better Business Bureau. And then Page Publishing has a thing about, endorsed by the Better Business Bureau. So don't even listen to that. I don't trust the Better Business Bureau anymore because of those two things. And it was the same time that the stuff with the book, with my Wet Elephant book, was going on too, with and just like all these things, you guys, is why it just got me to my breaking point. The last straw being, my daughters weren't talking to me. Why I just went into my prodigalness, and so yeah, that's what happened with my mother-in-law. And she had a pilot that lived right next door to her, and I was just like, I think he's like interested in her. Like, he got us a whole turkey on one Thanksgiving and everything. And it's funny, he'd give her those chocolates, which I love. It's just like, can I eat your chocolates? But I was on a diet at that point. But and they had nuts in them. She wouldn't eat them, but she just said, I'm like, but afterwards I was thinking, like, but it didn't matter, because like they didn't even get divorced because they want to split up the money, my mother-in-law and father-in-law. But my father-in-law is a narcissist also. And like, she's just, because like, and now she's like 80. So, and because of her age and all that, she was just like, done. I'm finished. So that was her decision. So the funny thing is, so I started doing Airbnb the end of 2017, and I did it till 2019. And people like, during the spring, it was like I could make like $1,000 a month, and had all sorts of guests. It was very interesting. It was very fun at first, and then it wasn't. And then Mohammed happened in 2018, which was the green card guy. But so in 2017, and I can't remember at what point it was, but I guess I was looking at the other Airbnbs in Warner Robins. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Guess who was not doing so well for you to be a lawyer? My ex-lawyer was on Airbnb doing Airbnb in her home, renting out rooms in her home. Hi, Timmy Ray. How are you? Hello. I should be done by now, but I'm telling this long story. But that really was the punchline. It was hilarious. And then I had all sorts of characters through my Airbnb. But I could see God working even in all of that, and I wrote that poem. Let me see if I can say that poem again. I'll say the poem again. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, let me do this one about my Airbnb. Bedtime stories with Red. I know God sent you here for a blessing or a lesson. So welcome to Red's. It's a comfortable bed, like sleeping on a cloud. A powerful shower to peel the paint off a Volvo. These are uh, from real reviews of Red's Airbnb. A powerful shower to peel the paint off a Volvo. Cupcakes and M&Ms. Chicken pot pie or pot roast. Coffee or tea. Sit by the fire. Talk to me. Want to hear a story about the Syrian who stole my heart? The Russian who slept on my porch? The Chinese exchange student who solved my Rubik's Cube? My J-Lo who was filled with wisdom? The millionaire who wouldn't buy my book? The adorable actor who played John Wilkes Booth? I had the actor that played John Wilkes Booth in Sleepy Hollow stay at my Airbnb. The model and author who stops sex trafficking. That was his girlfriend. Blue can tell you about her boring hotel. That was Amber, who was a long-term guest who worked at a hotel. But Red's is much more fun. Who can tell you about her boring hotel? But Red's is much more fun and cheaper too, with better and healthier food for you. You hear about my Georgia Tech boys, how they could eat. The airmen and the workers, Gladys and the nurse with the stuff. That's how I met Gladys at my Airbnb. Sweet Jenny, whose car I scratched. And she was just so sweet about it because I didn't realize there was a car. Well, I'm used to being in my driveway alone, right? And I went out and I scratched her car and I was like, oh my, and she was my first guest. She was a travel nurse. The heartbroken Marine, the lady with one leg and two names. My superhost friend escaped from Hurricane Flo, and she was in, my friend in North Carolina started doing Airbnb also. The fair girls were here for the hurricane too. Cannabis lady and her dog dude. That was the lady from Colorado, was moving back to Florida. They warned me about my boo. They warned me about Muhammad. Now I say thank you. 2 guys booked for Valentine's Day, but I scared them away. Southern hospitality from a Southern Cali lady. Y'all come back now, you hear? So what? What? Okay. Well, don't share anymore if it's. This is a clean show here. Timmy Ray, okay? Just saying. Other moderators can't time you out, but I can. Since you're a moderator. So just be good. So anyways, so somehow I found out, I think by looking at other Airbnbs in area, you could set your own price. So I think that's probably why I was looking around and I was just like, oh my goodness, like, so like, you think I'm such a loser, I can't get a job, and then you freaking copy me, lady? And you it was so hilarious and ironic that my lawyer was doing Airbnb. So business isn't so good, huh? Because you keep screwing people over and you're getting all these bad reviews. Yeah, please don't to me. Thank you. So yeah, that's a hilarious punchline to that story about my shady lawyer. And then the lawyer in Macon who wanted, so my lawyer, my divorce altogether, I got the mediator in August, is when it happened to be the same timing as when Mohammed showed up at my Airbnb. That's why I thought it suspicious, because if I remarry, you guys, I lose my alimony. But the divorce took until 2018. From 2014, when we separated, in 2016, I moved out of his house and I got the smaller house in the divorce that I moved into. And then 2018, we finally had the divorce mediation, and Mohammed was at my house for a month. Thank you, Wanderlust. Fill in the blanks. Don't fill in the blanks. Yeah, and by the way, Welcome to Reds is going to be the name of my book, my memoirs or whatever, about the whole story, because it was just hilarious, the things that happened. And the Russian guy stayed at my Airbnb when Muhammad was there. And it's funny because I think Muhammad was right in the room by the front door. And I didn't have one of those little key-in things because I actually bought one, right? But it wouldn't fit the way I didn't want to get a whole new door, and I was on a limited budget. I got a Lowe's card and everything before I moved out of the house. I got a Lowe's card, and then I set up the automatic payments, so my ex was paying on the Lowe's card. So because the house was a mess, he let it get a mess. We had rented it out before. The smaller house was a mess. The big house was kind of a mess too, really. Still didn't finish. He started it in 1999. We moved in it in 2001. With all the, we needed all that room with the 5 kids, and then I ended up with 13 cats, and we had 3 dogs, and it was great. It was a zoo. It was fun though. But because she was just growing. She didn't have any job security because she was probably, she had all these bad reviews, and it was just, I learned a lesson from that. But it's not good to forget things. I need to remember things. And that's also what happened with my little stint away from God. I forget all the things. You have to remember. And the Bible says it in a lot of places, like remember, to remember things and remember what God has done for you in the past. Yes. I'm so sorry for your loss, Timmy Ray. So I didn't remember these things and like all the things that God did for me. And one more thing, you guys, and I didn't even realize this till at the end, at the mediation. And I'm looking at Bullard, and her name was Obrizia. Unusual name. Great lawyer. Highly recommend her, in Atlanta, Georgia. So I was like, wait a minute. Did they call you Breezy? She's like, yeah. It's like, you were at the high school soccer team. She played soccer with my oldest child. I was like, what? I remember you. She graduated like right before my daughter, though. But so my lawyer played soccer with my daughter, my good lawyer. So I gave her a good review. I gave everywhere. There's all these places where you review lawyers, and I would go to every single one of them and give the Hines a bad review. And there were people I was in contact with, and like, oh yes, she's, she did this, that to me, and she's just a nightmare. She's a nightmare. I can't believe she's still in practice. I ended up reporting her to the Georgia Bar Association also. They wrote me back though and said that I could bring up a case against her, but they didn't do anything. But maybe when more people do, I'm just surprised that she's still in business. And some other people that said that about her also. Oh, I think it's different for everybody, Timmy Ray. I think it's different for everybody. I'm depending on the relationship, because everybody's relationship with their parents, with their father, with their mother is very different, you know. I wasn't really that close to my father, and my father and I had a lot of issues. So I'm glad though I didn't I have a I have a link, I'll share it. What I'll do, I'll share it so people can look at it. But and it's about narcissism. So like if you have I had a close relationship with my mom, right? So I still miss her. I still miss her now. And she passed in 2009. It lessens though, and so I imagine maybe it's that way with your dad, Timmy Ray. So I mean it lessens, but it never goes away. You always miss them. But with my dad, it was very different, because it was a very difficult relationship, and it was kind of, and I didn't go totally no contact with him. I'm trying to find the video about. So I did one about. I'll share it. This video is called "About Your Dad," because my ex uh, is very similar to my dad. So so um so did you watch it again? What did you think this time? So did you give it more of a chance this time? Because yeah, I went to see it and I thought it was good. It's a difficult movie. It's a difficult subject, and it's not like a feel good movie. It's not like it's not like a rom com or whatever. But yeah, the freedom, the sound of freedom, and but it's just I love movies that have happy endings, and movies of rescue and hope, and um like that. So yeah, but I've almost gone 2 hours, y'all. I've almost gone 2 hours. Um, I am not going to. He fell asleep. Did you fall asleep in that movie? Yeah. Yeah, right, Rose. So with my dad, it was uh I shared before that with my dad, I was right in the middle of everything, you guys. I downsized, I had sold my house, I had stuff left, and it took me 3 weeks, and I was in a hotel room in Georgia, like 1 minute away from my ex's house, 1 minute away from my daughter's house, and I knew I couldn't, you know, I could have. I could have asked them, let me stay with you and let's sort through this stuff, but I knew they weren't going to be nice about that. I knew they weren't really going to be wanting to help me with that. So I didn't contact them, and and it was uh, crazy, because I ended up being, in their little town, not in the town where I sold my house at, was like the next town over. I ended up in their town, you know, like what, probably not even a minute from my old house, my ex's house, and not even, 2 minutes from my daughter's house. And I was in this paying for this hotel room, and I ended up in that hotel room because I was stranded and homeless, because the money from my house, I sold my house on a Friday, and the money from my house that was supposed to go directly into my bank account on that day, I paid for a wire transfer, didn't go until Monday. So to call my friend Lillian, who had just had surgery, and so her mother-in-law was staying with her, and so she's like, I'm going to get you a hotel. And she got me the hotel that was like near her. She lived in that town too. And yeah, my friend Lillian and Gladys came to my rescue because I didn't have any, like I had $80 in my account. Here I am with all this little stuff that was left. It was just like a mess of stuff, and it was stuff I didn't know what to do with, and stuff I thought I'm going to give to my daughter. And I started to have a little pile, and I was like, it just got higher and higher and higher, and I'm just like, I can't get rid of these little books that like from her grandmother. And it's like, I don't want to keep them from my mom to her, like the Little Mermaid Disney book. And how many eyes, how many noses, how many ears, how many toes, little books that I read to her when she was a baby. I'm like, I can't get rid of these. I can't get rid of these, and her little Cabbage Patch that was from my brother when he worked for the lady that owned the Rams. And, I texted her, and do you want this? She wouldn't answer me back. It was heartbreaking. But so I had all that stuff to go through. And at that time, like the day before I left, it was the first day of fall, 2020. Like 3-4 weeks since I sold my house in August. 3 weeks in Georgia in this hotel. I was thinking I was going to buy my RV in Georgia. And I'm just like, I'm just going to get done with this, and I'm going to go up to the St. Louis area to Gladys's and buy my RV there. So I just need to get done with this. So I'm going through all this stuff, wedding pictures. I'm taking apart photo albums. I'm ripping up journals because I had like 100 journals, and some of them were my mom's. It was hard. I got rid of some of my mom's journals, and I didn't really want to, but she, like me, like wrote everything down. She wrote everything down. She'd write down the script. She'd have her quiet time. She'd write down the scripture. She'd write down what it meant to her, and just all this. But I could see how I'm like, Mom, you're just like me, writing down everything. I'm redheaded writing hood, right? So I had these 100 journals. I got rid of like 80 journals, a few of my mom's. I put one journal, I think at least one journal. I kept a couple of my mom's journals. I kept some of my journals, but not a lot. I fit everything I own, everything I wanted to keep in my car to go up to St. Louis to buy my RV, which I bought my RV in October. And then I left in it in November. What was the rush? I don't know. My sister-in-law was dying of cancer. Maybe that was the rush. So yeah, my dad passed away the day before, September 21st, 2020, the day before I left Georgia. My brother was keeping me updated. And he called me when I was in the hotel in Georgia. Told me. And so that started the process. But it was in, his money was in, what do you call it? You need to get a living trust if you have funds that you want to go to your loved ones, right? When you die, you have to do a living trust, not a will, because it'll be in probate. That's what it was. It was in probate for 2 years. So I was just numb. I was going through all this things. At first, I was kind of mad that I couldn't contact my kids to like come help me with all this stuff. I mean, there was points when I was like about ready to pass out, and I'm by myself, and I'm transferring stuff from the storage to the car, and then I had to my phone died right when I had $80 in my account to maybe get an Airbnb. I had sold my home. I had gave over the keys, signed over my house, and they said they were gonna, and then they said it's delayed because we did too many wire transfers in a day, so you're not going to get it till Monday. And then I didn't know my phone wasn't charging in the U-Haul, so my phone died right as I'm trying to book an Airbnb. So to take the U-Haul back to fit, all the stuff. I remember I put my food in the storage because I'm like, I know I have some boxes of stuff in the car, and it just was all a mess, and I had to sort it all out and organize it, and I had a bunch of papers to throw away, and it was a lot of work, and I was doing it all by myself. And I remember at one point I was like so tired, and that's at the point I started losing weight. That's when I weighed 230. It took me that long to lose that much, though. I yo-yoed a little bit. I lost a lot on the road, when I was traveling in my RV, I'd go hiking, I was at Klamath, and I would go 5 miles every other day, hike to the beach and back every other day. And so I lost 30 pounds since then. But my dad passed, and I was just numb. I wasn't talking to him that long, that much. I had sort of a limited contact with him, and my stepmother made it even worse. She just made things more awkward. She couldn't see me or hear me. Whenever I'd go see him, the last 2 times I went to see him, she didn't even believe me when I said I was coming to see. She's like, "Oh, we didn't know you were coming." And I was like, "I told you I was coming." "We didn't know you were coming." And then when I sent the gift for his 90th birthday, "Oh, well, I was trying to find your phone number. My phone number has not changed. It's been the same." And she just made things even more awkward and difficult. Whereas my mom sort of built bridges between my dad and I, and tried to smooth things over and make things better. But she just made things more awkward and worse, my stepmother. And so I didn't even cry. And that sounds horrible. And then recently I got the Disney Channel when I moved in here because I love Disney. I love Disney. But I think I got it to watch a specific something. I forget what it was. But anyways, I got a Disney Channel, and there's this show on there called The Finder, and he finds things, and he's in Florida and blah, blah, blah. And this sort of just took me all aback. They did this show on this woman who was trying to figure out her dad actually got killed, but they made it look like a suicide, like he jumped out of a window. And she's like, I want you to find, and it was funny. She was like really sweet person, but, she did makeup on Deb, and she was trying to go to school to become a lawyer too. And she went to school, and she had all this debt from student loans, right? And so in the course of them trying to find, he's like, I don't find killers. I find, and he's like, I'm going to try and find, it was like, I'm going to try and find your inheritance. And so I just recently last year got the money from my dad. And I didn't even really realize that I hadn't cried, right? And so I'm watching this show, and at the end, he ends up finding out that her dad, he didn't have a lot of money, but he always tried to help her out, but whatever, but didn't really. But he had bet on this horse, and he had won this amount of money that happened to be like the same amount of money I was getting, and the same amount of money that was this girl's student loans. And so she says at the end of the show, after all these years, my dad finally came through for me. I started bawling like a baby. And I realized, I was like, that's the first time I cried. So it was uh, kind of cathartic, and I felt like that was a God thing too. That show, and just I hadn't even realized it. I hadn't even realized I was like, I didn't cry. You know, I'm so opposed to. That's why I get in trouble, because I say things that I think, and I'm very opposed to being fake. I'm like, you're gonna get like, you don't have to wonder what Red's thinking usually, because I'm usually gonna say it. That's why I get in trouble all the time. Yeah, that's why I get in trouble sometimes. And it's like, I'm not gonna fake cry or say my dad was something. There was a lot of good things about my dad, and he was a good provider. My oldest brother said that, you know, he's like, he was a good provider. He was a good father. He took care of us financially. He was a good, you know, he was good at that. And he was um, born in 1928 in uh, San Francisco, and, you know, a child of the Great Depression. So he, 7 kids, very careful and frugal with money. And he worked for IBM for, gosh, I don't know, 35 years when he retired. 30, I think it was 35, maybe 40 years. But anyways, thank you all for staying with me for my long story, you guys. About my lawyer, about my dad, thank you so much. I'm going to pray again. So I'm going to pray again and let you go, because I'm almost at 2 hours. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, you guys, I decided to make lasagna. I'm going to make lasagna, even though it's not low carb. But I'll probably give some of it to my son, and his friend. So, but I eat carbs here and there. But I lost 30 pounds, so I'm excited. And I'm probably going to try to lose like 30 more pounds. So, because right around that's a good weight for me. Got below 200. I'm tall, so that's why I don't look like I weigh as much as I do. But I'm going to have a little carbs tomorrow, because I'm going to eat my lasagna. I'm going to have lasagna. So thank you all for being here. And I'm going to pray. Dear Lord, thank you for all my YouTube followers. I pray you bless them, Lord. Please continue to comfort Timmy Ray at the loss of his dad, Lord. Please continue to help Rose in her situation, Lord, and give her wisdom and give her guidance on what to do, Lord. And please heal her injuries and her health problems, Lord. Please be with Rose. And please be with Lori and heal her, Lord, and strengthen her and help her with her health problems. Please bless our children, Lord, all our children and our grandchildren. I thank you for our grandchildren. I pray that you would bless my daughter Claire as she's expecting in September, Lord. And I pray you bless Lori's daughter Helen as she's expecting in December, Lord. Please bless them and give them healthy pregnancies and healthy babies, Lord. I pray you help my son to find a job, and please help him to get seatbelts for his car, Lord, because I want him to be safe as he drives. And we just thank you for caring about all these things in our lives and all the little things. And Lord, help us always to remember what you've done for us in the past, Lord. Like I was saying today, help us to remember how you came through for us in the past, so that we can trust you for our futures, Lord. So, and I just pray you bless everybody here. Thank you, Wanderlust. I'll put that in the title. God bless you, Wanderlust. Do you have a first name you want me to know, or just Wanderlust? Did you tell me before? I'm trying to think. Did you tell me your first name before? I don't think you have. But you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. But dear Lord, please bless all my YouTube friends. Bless Wanderlust, Timmy Ray, be with Rose, be with Anthony, be with Roy and Becky, Lord, be with Diane, Van Gal. I'm going through my list here. Kenneth, please bless Kenneth, Lord. Bless Tim and CRV View. Bless Carol, plain vanilla grandma, be with her. I had a good turnout today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Lord, I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. I was going to do not reading you a whole lot of Bible today, but let's pick a verse from, I can shuffle these. These are Bible memory verses. Look. I'll shuffle them and pick a verse of the day. Kinda, sorta. Here's a pink one. I love this. John 14:23. Oh, it's not a verse I thought it was. Jesus replied, anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. There's a verse for you. In John 14:23. Those don't shuffle very well. They're not playing cards, but anyways. Y'all, I'm going to go. It's been 2 hours. I love you all. Anything else? You can email me. Let me see. You can email me if you want. I'm trying to check my email more often. If you have a prayer request or anything, or if you just want to email me, my snail mail address is, you can watch it for free. Wow. Rochelle. Okay. Thank you, Rochelle. So don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Love you all. Bye.